Hello my friends, this is a Hatha Yoga for Balance class, amazing for beginners that I filmed in my mom's garden in San Diego. Let's get started. To begin, come on down to all fours, shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Just finding your tabletop position, spreading the fingers wide. And notice how your hand actually has an arch in it. If you look between your second finger and your thumb, your index finger and thumb, you'll see your hand has an arch. And we actually have that same arch in our feet, which is going to be important to help us balance when we get standing. Take a deep breath in and lengthen from the crown of your head to your tailbone. So just feel your spine. Navigate into this position where it's parallel with the ceiling. Knit your abs up and in, close your front ribs, and dip the chin. So if someone wanted to balance a tray on your back, you'd be completely flat. Inhale deeply, sending breath in between the shoulder blades and the hips. Imagining your torso like this square or triangle that you could breathe into and make it wider. And when you're ready, you've probably already just exhaled. And try that 3 more times, inhaling, thinking of widening your torso. Left to right, side to side, up and down, filling with breath, and exhaling, just letting that go while you maintain this nice long spine. Everything else stays still. One more huge breath in. And out. Good. Keeping the ribs in and the abs kissing up towards the heart. Extend the right leg behind you. So just playing with our balance right away here. Flex the foot, spin the pinky toes down towards the earth, lift the right inner thigh, and just notice what it feels like to only have 3 limbs on the ground instead of 4. See if you can keep your breathing as big and slow and steady as it was before. Stay here, or if you like, lift the left arm. So right away, beginning to challenge and tap into our balance. Notice how you start to wobble, but how that's okay because you can use your core and your breath to sort of iron out the movement. Kind of just like you'd iron out wrinkles in a fabric is how I think of it. Good, and then set both limbs back down. Let's take a rest in child's pose. So take the seat to the heels, or if that's not restful or feasible to you, come into any position that just feels like a little bit of a break. If you're in child's pose, wag the hips from side to side, elbows wide, hands touch. Breathe into the low back. Maybe exhale or sigh out the mouth, HA. And just let the tension that the balance created go. Good. Come back up onto all fours as you're ready. Spreading the fingers, preparing for the second side. Zipper up your abs, just like you were zipping yourself into a Wonder Woman suit. Flex the left heel behind you, and then lift the inner left thigh up, pinky toes spiral down towards the ground. So I almost think it's like my legs corkscrewing into my body, and that helps me here. Challenge your balance. A couple deep breaths. Ribs in, abs in, everything stays nice and parallel to the floor just like it did before. Definitely stay here if balance is something you're just beginning to work on. Otherwise, you can challenge yourself by lifting the right arm. 3 deep breaths. Navigating those little wibbles and wobbles, because remember, balance isn't stillness. Balance is finding and navigating all the little micro movements. So it's not being still, it's surfing all the little muscles that are now firing in your outer hip and wrist. Okay, let that all go and press back into child's pose or whatever is comfortable for you. Bring your hands together and just roll out your wrists. Just making figure 8s. Letting that go. Nice. Now curl the toes underneath you. So you're gonna make sure that little pinky toe comes forward, and we're gonna come into a little toe stretch before we start doing some standing balances. I really like to stretch out the feet before I balance, because remember, the feet and the arch in your foot is what's gonna really give you strength and stability to balance on one leg. So you can make this more intense by sitting on your heels. This will be the most intense variation of this posture. This is probably going to feel too intense for many of you, and in that case you'll just keep the hands on the ground so your booty won't put as much weight on your heels, so it won't feel as intense of a toe stretch. And then if you're with me, just kind of move the hips from side to side. So it's all these little tiny muscles and so many bones that we have in our feet that often get forgotten about because we're wearing shoes all the time, that we kind of need to reawaken in order to effectively balance. Gorgeous. Come into down dog as you're ready. So you can keep the toes curled under, probably your first down dog of the day. So just take some time to pedal out the legs, do whatever feels good for you and your dog. You can lift the heels, bend the knees deeply towards the mat, send the hips high to the sky, and gently straighten. Good. And then stepping the right foot between the hands for side angle pose. So look down at your right heel, make sure it lines up with your left arch. And then you can hold the right heel with the right hand and lift the left arm up towards the sky. So we're aiming for a 90-degree bend in the front leg. So you may need to lengthen or shorten your stance. So kind of heel toe the back foot out like I'm doing to find this nice 90-degree angle. Heel is hopefully wider than the pinky toe. Take the arm up and then take the bicep alongside the ear. Notice if you've lost your breath. Nice deep breathing. Just finding a little strength and stability in the legs. So your legs should be pushing into the mat really hard to hold this posture. It's not an easy one. For 3, spiral the heart towards the ceiling. For 2, deepen the in-breath. Last 1. Exhale, hands frame the foot. Step back to your dog. And pedal out the legs. And just notice now the difference between the right leg and the left. So the back of both legs probably feels pretty opened up, but the right leg really had to fire and work a lot. The left leg did too, but the right leg more. So notice that. How does that sensation of the two legs feel different? And then we'll step the left foot between the hands. Same thing, second side. So lining up front heel to back arch. Maybe adjusting the foot forward and back, finding a nice appropriate stance for you on your sticky mat, maybe holding the left ankle with the left hand, and then right arm up, and then bicep alongside the ear. If this is just too intense, you can always take the elbow to the thigh. This is another option. But challenge yourself here. Really work the legs. Press the pinky toe, big toe, and heel into the mat, and imagine you wanted to split your mat apart in the center, like it would literally tear and rip apart. So you're really energizing through the legs. 3 more deep breaths here. Inhale, spiral heart to ceiling. Exhale, kiss the abs up towards the heart. 2 more deep breaths. Good. Exhale, hands frame the foot, step back to dog. So now that we've found a little bit of external rotation in the hips, we're ready to try our first standing balance. Walk the feet to the top of the mat. Feet are hip width apart, parallel. Make sure the heel is right behind the widest part of the foot. So really look and see it. All 10 toes are facing forward. This is really worth doing. All 10 toes are facing forward, heel behind the widest part of the foot. And then clasp opposite elbows, let the head drop, and just sway a little bit here. Decompress the low back. So crown of head points directly to the floor, chin dips in, back of neck long, and then inhale, half lift, find your Ardha Uttanasana, glide the shoulders down and back, and exhale, fold. Good. Inhale, circle the arms down, around, and up, or coming to stand, however feels appropriate for you, and exhale, hands to prayer at heart center. Coming into our first standing balance. So we're going to pull the right knee into the chest. So right knee into the chest, make sure it's your right knee, and just notice right away what starts to happen in the body. We're aiming to be in neutral, to have the body as if we were doing Tadasana, even though we've now lifted one leg off the ground. So option 1, just stay here and play with what this feels like. Option 2, take the right foot to the outside of the left ankle, or you can actually have the whole ball of the foot on the ground. So see what feels right for you. And actually, let's take the hands to the hips as a first step. So just playing the balance, just like when we're on all fours, you're going to notice the ankle wobbling,
All sorts of little micro movements. Take the hands to prayer now if you had them on the hips. Good. Inhale, reach the arms up. So we're going to let both legs drift towards the floor. Let that go. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half lift. So this is like wiping the slate clean. Think of it like an Etch-a-Sketch. When you shake the Etch-a-Sketch, our little half sun salute here is just wiping everything clean. Inhale, reach the arms up and coming back to center. We'll do that same thing on the second side. So widen, spread the toes. Make sure the heel is centered behind the widest part of the right foot. And now left knee into chest. So this is just our baby warm up, feeling this here. Heart is tall and proud, ribs knit in, and right away notice the ankles start to work. Notice it start to, the foot begins to kind of like pronate, supinate, try to figure out what's going on. And then left foot this time to the inner right ankle, or ball of the foot on the floor if you're really new to balance. Hands to hips. Couple breaths here. And now let's add in a drishti, a focal or gazing point in front of us. So find something to focus your attention on, and then don't look at anything except that one thing. Hands to prayer if you did it on the first side. Slowing and deepening the breath. Good. Nice. Inhale, let the foot go down and reach the arms up. Lengthen the tailbone down, root through the feet. Exhale, bend the knees, fold forward. Again, we're wiping everything clean. As you come forward, look at your feet. Notice if all 10 toes are pointing forward. Make sure your heel is really centered behind the widest part of your foot. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees deeply. Inhale, circle the arms down, around, and up. Exhale, hands to center. Heart center. Now this time we're going to come into full tree. Now if this is all new to you, you're going to stay right with this balance that we practiced already. So this time right foot to inner left ankle, or here, or grab the foot, take it to the upper inner thigh. It's okay for this right knee to point forward at a diagonal. I see a lot of students often try to push this knee back, and as they push the knee back, what happens is this booty pop, see? We want to lengthen the spine and lengthen the low back. So just keep the knee just at a 45-degree angle or whatever your range of motion is in your hips. Look down. Once again, see if the heel is centered behind the widest part of the foot. Ground through the pinky toe, big toe, and heel, and then hands to hips. This is always going to be the easiest place to be when you're practicing your balance. Hands to heart. And then if you really are open to it, as I almost hit a tree as I'm doing my tree. Smile. Press the foot into the thigh and the thigh into the foot, unless you're doing the foot at the ankle, and then press the foot into the ankle and the ankle into the foot. So you find that dynamic opposition, the muscles hugging towards your center line. Good, and then hug the knee in, set it down. This time let's just shake it out a little bit, and second side. So coming right into your tree on the left, hands to hips is always going to be easiest. So you kind of pick where you want to work this round. Otherwise, you're lifting the foot to the inner right thigh, squeeze everything in towards the midline, and you're picking that drishti, that focal point that's going to anchor you, maybe with the hands at prayer, maybe with the arms up. Good, let's all take the hands to the hips. Notice if in your tree, one hip kind of hiked up or down. So this is always a really nice place to start to make sure the hips are level. Hold the left knee, pull it into the chest if you can, let it go, shake it all out. Let's do one of our half sun salutes to reset. So inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend the knees to fold. Breathe in, half lift. Exhale, fold forward. So I love practicing balances like this. Inhale, reach the arms up with these little half sun salutes in between because it lets me clear my mind. It also reminds me to reconnect with the breath. Exhale, hands to heart. So for our last balance that we're going to practice together, we're going to play with dancer. So I'm going to give a couple different variations for you to play with and practice at home. So we're always going to start the same way. So starting lifting the right foot, so we're going to ground through the left, spread the toes, really see them spread so you see more of your sticky mat between each toe. Ground down through little toe, big toe, and heel. So you feel that arch of your foot. It's like your leg is engaged, slurping up the floor. And just lift the right hand and the right leg and hold them. So nothing fancy, you're just focusing on balancing in this configuration. Right away, you'll notice the ankle kind of begin to figure things out. Engage through the leg. So without locking out the knee, firm the quadricep muscle, press down through the foot and feel that energy rebound so it strengthens your leg. Yeah? This is step one, to just be right here. Find a focal point to gaze at. Take the left hand to the hip. And this can also be a nice little quad stretch. Let's all do this together on the second side. So finding all the same things. Second side. Hips level. Drishti, gaze, focal point. Just feeling what it feels like now to be on one leg, but with the leg that's off the ground kind of behind us. All right, now that we've tested that out, you're either going to stay with that for the next variation, or you're going to take it a step further. The grip's going to change a little bit though. So I'll show to the side. It's like you're giving blood. That's how I always think of it. So when you kick your right foot back, I want you to hold it like this so that you're holding the inner heel and your arm is an external rotation like you're giving blood. So come into this grip now. This grip I find is a little bit more challenging for folks. Left hand to hip. And then just see how your balance is doing. Option one, you're just going to stay here. This is a great place to be with a different grip, ribs knit in, rooting down, practicing your balance. It's a practice, just like anything else. Otherwise, if you're moving on, you're going to kick the foot back into the hand. So just kick the foot back into the hand. And then as you kick, 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 you may notice that your weight really feels like it's coming forward. So to kind of counterbalance everything, it's helpful to reach the left arm forward. You can even bring the index finger and thumb to touch so you're in this dancer variation. A lot of classical yoga keeps the hips in one line. Bikram and other styles of yoga so you can open the hips coming into a really deep fold. So pending what style of yoga you like to practice, see what works best for you. One more breath wherever you are. Pull the knee into the chest, and let's let that go with a half sun salute. So inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. This is also really nice because as you exhale, fold here, you decompress the low back. Inhale, circle the arms down, around, and up. Exhale, hands to prayer. And then setting up to do this on the second side. So external rotation in the left arm, holding the left inner heel, right hand to hip. Line up the knees. Lining up the knees is going to help your hips level out, which is a good place to start. Find your drishti, your focal point. And option one is to just stay here. Option two, begin kicking the left foot back into the hand. So it's like a bow and arrow situation happening behind you here. So there's tension as you kick the leg into the hand. You can play with square hips or opening the hips, reaching the arm forward or palm up, index finger and thumb touch for your classic Natarajasana dancer pose. Hips square or playing with opening up the hips. Last 3, 2, 1. See if you can hold the knee for a beat. Test that balance, good, and then let it go. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step it back to downward facing dog. Pedal through the legs. Give yourself 3 nice, huge breaths in down dog to just feel all 4 limbs in contact with the ground. Micro bend the knees, find more length in the spine. Just any little movements you want to do here just for you. And then bring the knees to the ground. We'll close our practice in Baddha Konasana, just to find that external rotation that we're going to need for tree as we continue to keep practicing, hopefully coming back to this video. Inhale, find length. And exhale, fold forward. Nice decompression for the low back again. Nice outer hip opener. I love to sway side to side here, left to right. For me, it feels really good. See what calls to you, any little movements you want to do now here. If you want, you can even massage the feet, kind of digging the thumb into the arch of the foot. Probably a lot of little muscles in the foot worked very hard for you just now that aren't maybe used to working that hard. So I always like to give my feet a little bit of a rub. And one more huge breath. And then use your hands to gently press yourself up. Come to a cross-legged position so we can finish our practice together. And then in this symbol of balance, uniting hands at heart center, bringing left and right palm, left and right brain, the symbol of unity together at the heart. Deep breath in and out. Full breath in, feeling belly, chest rise, and exhale all the way. Cultivate just a moment here of gratitude for all that your body can do. And I'm sending you so much love from my heart to yours. Namaste.
I am leading a 40-day Kriya coming up soon. A 40-day Kriya means that you're gonna do Kundalini Yoga every single day for 40 days with the support of me and an amazing community. In this special challenge, I have a 5-minute, a 30-minute, and 1-hour class for you to choose from. So you can choose which to commit to and make sure that it will fit with your schedule. The tradition of doing a 40-day practice is something that has completely changed my life, given me incredible insights about my personality, and fueled my own personal development. I want to share all of this with you in this new program. Click the link in the cards or find it in the description below this video to sign up. I hope you'll be joining me for this special journey. So much love from my heart to yours. Namaste.